there. You're watching afl.com.au. We're at Etihad Stadium for the final day of testing here at the NAB AFL Draft Combine. Nat Edwards and Cal Twomey with you. Cal, we spoke yesterday about the standing vertical jump, but we didn't get the results of the running vertical jump.
No, we didn't. It's lucky we got him now, though, because Kyron Hayden from WA broke the all-time record for that. He surpassed Nick Natanui and Jared Brennan. They had jumped 102 centimetres. Hayden jumped 103, so a big congratulations to him. He's just been awarded the all-time record, so we thought we may as well acknowledge that because it's an outstanding effort from the WA prospect. Most
definitely. Now, we also had the yo-yo test going on in the background during yesterday's episodes. The results in? Who won it?
Andrew Brayshaw. He was the first winner of the yo-yo test. He ran a level 22.4, which probably doesn't mean too much to most people just yet, given it's the first year of the yo-yo test and everyone's getting their head around what that means comparatively to the beep test. In a VO2 max sense, I'm told that means about a 14.7 beep test, but it's a different test, and he performed so well. He showed his sprinting ability, he showed his endurance ability, and that's what the yo-yo test was able to do. It's able to show, I guess, more AFL-like running styles compared to the beep test. So Brayshaw's had a great week and just showed again how much of a professional and great runner he is. He's definitely in the top 10 for me now.
And of course he featured again in today's testing this morning. It was the final test, the 2K time trial. They've ditched the 3K.
Yep.
And Brayshaw again tested really well.
He did. He came third at a time of 6 minutes and 15 seconds. Second was Lockie O'Brien at 6 minutes and 12 seconds. And first was Dylan Moore from the Eastern Rangers at a time of 6 minutes and 9 seconds. So outstanding display of aerobic running from Dylan Moore. He really pushed himself to beat that time set by Lockie O'Brien a little bit earlier in the heats. So he's a small midfielder / forward who's had such a great year, Dylan Moore, really consistent. Everyone knew coming into the combine that he's a great runner, so he probably didn't prove too much today. Everyone already knew that he could do what he did. But to do that on the final day after what's been a really gruelling week is quite an impressive feat.
Has anyone really pushed their case forward and after a really strong performance here at the Combine this week?
Well, those guys have, in terms of Brayshaw, I think, his ability to show his mix of speed and power and these type of things. Ben Miller from WA has tested quite well as well for a taller type. Kicked well, agility, he won that as well with Kane Farrell, so he's been one that probably I think clubs will look at a little bit more in the coming weeks to suss out how it translates to his footy. And also Aidan Bonner, a guy who obviously coming off the 2 knee reconstructions, there's a little bit of doubt around that fitness and whether there's any questions there going forward, but performed brilliantly, equalled the standing vertical jump record, and ran really well in the 20 metres as well. So he was a standout for me.
Well, we managed to catch up with Aidan Bonner this morning, and he talks about those struggles with injuries and those 2 knee reconstructions.
At the start of the season last year, I was always worrying if I would get back and what I'd do. But always, kept strong with the idea that I'd hopefully make AFL one day, and I'm here today, and I'm pretty proud of myself getting here.
How much confidence does your results here give you?
I think it gives me a lot of confidence moving forward. I believed coming in I could win the standing vert with my PT. I've been working pretty hard with it in the sprint, so yeah, I built a lot of confidence from this combine and throughout the year.
Now, Cal, probably one of the best ruckmen going around in the draft pool is Sam Hayes. Probably not known for his endurance, and he struggled a little bit this morning with the 2K time trial. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, I didn't want to finish last, mate, so no, I pushed pretty hard towards the end. There's still, as I said before, there's some improvement in that aspect, but I'm sure with time I'll get a lot better at it.
Understandably, Sam Hayes a little bit disappointed, but ruckmen aren't known for their endurance, are they?
No, it probably wasn't a great run, and I don't think he's known for his endurance. It's something he does need to improve, though, no doubt about that, because to be a modern-day ruckman, you need to be able to move around the ground and do that throughout the 4 quarters, so something he needs to improve on, but there's no doubt he is the best ruckman of the pool. He can go forward, he can find the ball around the ground. He's a really good mover around the ground too, and kick a goal when he goes forward. So there's a chink in the armour there, but that's okay. He needs to work on that, and nobody's perfect at 18.
You are correct there. Now, of course, during the week, there have been plenty of recruiters, and we've seen coaches, in fact, making their way around Etihad Stadium, checking out what talent has been on show. And we managed to catch up with St Kilda's recruiting and list manager, Tony Elshaw. Earlier, of course, the Saints have picked 7 and 8. They've got a great hand.
Is midfield a priority?
No, the best players are the priority at this stage. And we'll have to wait and see how the week unfolds in terms of what picks we end up having. But we like to think the 7-8 are good picks. There'll be a number of good players at that point, and we'll see how it pans out.
How deep do you think this draft pool is, and how strong is it?
Yeah, no, we think there's a lot of good players. No, it's a good deep pool, and only time is going to determine how good it ends up being. But I think that it runs deep, and there's a wide variety of players, particularly the further you go down the draft.
So that is the Combine done and dusted for yet another year. What next for the guys?
Bit of a rest, I think. They're all pretty tired today. They'll go home today at different points. Obviously, the interstate guys, the non-Victorian guys will head home as well and have a bit of a break because it's been such a long year for them. Most of them have been playing and training since late last year, so a long time in the making, this NAB AFL Draft Combine for them. So they need a spell. Then they'll get back into some interviews. A lot of them are still doing Year 12 as well, so they'll get through the exam period over the next month.
Yuck.
And then they'll have a couple of weeks probably to think more about the draft and then get themselves ready for their first AFL pre-season. So they want to hit that in good stride as well. So, look, it's been a busy year for them. It's their biggest of their lives, and the Combine was a big part of that as well. It's been a busy few days. I've enjoyed it. It's been good to see them all and see them all perform well. Would have been nice to see some of the top-end guys out there as well. There's a lot of injuries to some of the top-end blokes, but that's what happens at this time of the year. So, look, a big Combine, and it's been good fun.
It has been a fabulous 4 days, Cal. The draft, November 24, up in Sydney. We're very excited about that, and we'll bring you all the coverage leading up to draft day right here on afl.com.au.